of our customers didn't have power.
Alicia McMillan, 7 News.
Blackouts were the least of the problems for boat owners at Mornington. Margaret Decker is there tonight, and Margaret, the high winds have created real problems and a very big clean-up bill.
Sure, Pete. Look, boat owners and the heavy machinery have been working all day here to salvage the boats. Insurance companies are still assessing the damage, but the bill's likely to start at $2 million in total. Then there are fears the storm-damaged boats will never sail quite the same again. From lunchtime yesterday, the northerly slammed into Mornington Harbour. The 65 boats moored in the open bay stood little chance against the 72-knot winds.
Each boat, would go up, and it'd be like climbing Everest, and then suddenly another one would come through.
A third of the fleet was washed ashore. This morning, owners came to see what could be salvaged.
It's always devastating. You feel a bit upset. But, yeah.
We had a clubhouse last night in the morning. A lot of the people were in tears.
A crowd of spectators watched as Andrew Burford's boat, Solitaire, was dragged off the beach. But he was one of the lucky ones. Many boats are beyond repair.
I think it's basically seen its last sailing trip, yeah.
The club has been fighting for years to build a $15 million breakwater to protect boats on this side of the bay from further danger.
That's our greatest concern, that it might happen again.
Away from the coast, another massive clean-up. Hundreds of SES volunteers spent the day clearing fallen trees and debris from homes around Melbourne. Many had worked all night.
We've had a couple of situations where roofs have been totally blown off houses, trees through roofs, over roads. It's just been chaos out there as far as debris goes.
So far, they've responded to almost 4,500 calls for help.
Predominantly trees down across houses and driveways. Yeah, there's a lot of chainsaw work and they are time consuming.
Thanking volunteers for their efforts, the Premier's warned Victorians to expect more wild weather.
Fortunately, we probably will see more of this type of event in the future. If you look at all of the predictions on climate change.
As the wind subsided, crowds were allowed back into the garden show, which was called off yesterday because of safety fears. But there's still plenty of pruning to do in the suburbs, with the clean-up expected to run well into tomorrow. Margaret Decker, 7 News.
And a team of SES reinforcements is on the way from New South Wales to help with the clean-up. 40 volunteers with specialist skills in storm damage will arrive in Melbourne tomorrow. They'll be sent to work immediately in the city's worst affected suburbs. It's been a trying 24 hours for city commuters. They face traffic chaos, train cancellations and botched plans to get them home. But there is a bright side because transport officials have learnt a lot from the experience, as Nick McCallum reports.
The end result of our worst day on the tracks. 330 cancellations, tens of thousands of commuters stranded a long, long way from home.
A few trees have blown over. God. Where's your escape plan, buddy?
What's going on? I don't know. That's the problem.
With so many lines closed because of power failures, city commuters were urged to catch trains to Camberwell.
You're advised to board the train and change at Camberwell for a connecting bus service.
But once they got there, not a bus to be seen.
All I heard was there were buses, now there aren't.
If you get to Camberwell, there'll be buses picking you up from there to Lilydale and Belgrave, but there aren't any.
The few trams passing were swamped, at times dangerously so.
Move right inside as much as you can.
Among those stranded for hours, tempers flared.
I'm not going to stand here and argue with you. Go away.
Anything else to say?
After go away, obviously.
In the end, many just gave up and started walking home.
Well, at this stage I was thinking about walking all the way to Box Hill, which is a 6k walk.
Pity these people, pity too John Rees from Connex, who had to explain it. All buses they had were stuck in traffic.
It was a very, very bad day, and I feel for them. We tried to do something to help them get on with their journey, and of course, with all the problems there were, it just compounded, and in the end, it led to more frustration.
This morning's peak much better, but still some 40 cancellations, twice the daily average.
Outside their control because they can't control the weather.
On the roads, chaos right throughout Melbourne last night. This morning's peak, though, the Westgate Bridge was back to normal. The boom gate damaged by wind still not repaired. Of the state's 3,000 sets of traffic lights, 600 were rendered faulty by power cuts. Late today, all but 30 had been repaired or had generators running them.
What can we do? It was an act of God, and I think we all managed the situation as best we could.
Many lessons from all this for comments.
We lost power in a lot of areas so that we couldn't actually speak from one station to another, and we'll see what we can do to overcome some of those problems.
Lessons for Vic roads. Climate change will mean more weather traffic disasters.
Be aware that these things could happen, and be aware that we might need to react more often than we have in the past.
And a sobering thought.
Had this not been school holidays, it would have been worse.
Little consolation here.
You blokes say that on Connex all the time. Pay your money. We pay it. Deliver a service.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
Residents in Melbourne's west say they're worried they'll fall victim to Victoria's $18 billion transport revolution recommended by Sir Rod Eddington. But they've warned they won't give up without a fight, as Brendan Donoghue explains.
Bunbury Street Footscray already has a freight line running underneath it.